The Halal Times, the voice of Ummah. A restaurant in Berlin has become the center of a storm. The reason? The protests are not due to its food, music, or atmosphere. Rather, they stem from the blood-stained hands of its owner. Meet Shahar Segal, an Israeli restaurateur, businessman, and former spokesperson for the so-called Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, or GHF, an organization that promised food and relief to starving Palestinians, but instead delivered death. And he is the same person against whom the Germans are protesting, as, apart from being actively involved in inflicting pain on Palestinians, he owns the restaurant that is due to open in Berlin. In May 2025, the US-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, GHF, entered Gaza under the guise of feeding the hungry. But what unfolded was not humanitarian aid. It was a cruelly crafted plan to humiliate and attack the Palestinians. Promises of bread and survival lured Palestinian civilians, including men, women, and small children, to GHF's food distribution sites. Instead, Israeli forces opened fire. Over 1,200 starving Palestinians were executed in cold blood. Thousands more injured, humiliated, and degraded, all in the name of aid. This was not charity. This was pinkwashing, the use of food and aid as a propaganda tool to cover up systematic onslaught. And at the heart of it all stood Shahar Segal, GHF's spokesperson. What makes this story even more grotesque is what Segal did next. After representing an aid foundation that orchestrated the killing of starving Palestinians, Segal turned back to his other passion: restaurants. Together with celebrity Israeli chef Eyal Shani, Segal runs a global food empire, from Michelin-starred restaurants in New York to chic eateries in Tel Aviv, Paris, and Melbourne. And now, he wants to expand in Germany. His latest project, Gila and Nancy, a Berlin restaurant boasting fine dining and drag performances. But for many, the very idea is sickening. As if Segal were feeding his visitors with the same blood-stained hands that shot the hungry Palestinian children. Fortunately, Segal's ambitions haven't gone unchallenged, and in Germany, civilians have been protesting outside the restaurant, refusing to allow its doors to open. In Melbourne, Australia, protesters gathered outside Miznon, one of Segal's co-owned restaurants, demanding a boycott. Even in Tel Aviv, a nightlife venue cut its connections with Segal, condemning his violent association with GHF. The outrage is simple. How can a man who stood as the face of an organization that used food as a weapon of war now profit from selling food to the world's elites? Under mounting pressure, Segal resigned from GHF, but his excuses raised even more anger. On Instagram, he wrote, "My work with the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation has always been rooted in the desire to support those affected by the ongoing war. This role was temporary and has now concluded." To NPR, he went even further, defending GHF's methods. "I believe this is the only right and possible way to deliver food to Gazans without feeding extremist machines. It's crystal clear." Crystal clear? Yes, crystal clear that this was never humanitarian work. It was militarized aid, designed to entrap the starving, then humiliate them and execute them as they are mere rats searching for food. And now, the man who once justified brutal aggression and execution of Palestinian children at food lines wants Germans to come and enjoy a fun night of food and drag performances. Originally set to open in July, the restaurant's launch has now been delayed. Protests, petitions, and relentless pressure have forced Segal and his partners to push back the opening date. This controversy is not just about one man or one restaurant. It is part of a larger Israeli strategy to sanitize war crimes with culture, cuisine, and lifestyle. It's called pinkwashing, using food, art, entertainment, and even drag shows to cover up apartheid, targeted elimination of a population and ethnic cleansing. While Palestinians starve under siege, Israeli entrepreneurs open chic restaurants abroad, presenting themselves as cosmopolitan, progressive, and fun. But behind the plates of food lies a trail of blood. Shahar Segal may claim he feeds people, but in truth, his legacy is one of feeding on the bodies of Palestinian children who died at food lines, mothers who starved, and fathers who were executed for seeking bread. But now it appears that those responsible might not get away with all the lies and deception they spread. From Berlin to Melbourne, from Tel Aviv to New York, civilians are standing against those who profit from the execution of Palestinians. Because no fine dining, no Michelin stars, and no flashy drag performances can wash away the taste of blood. That's all for today. If you found the video informative, please like it and subscribe to the channel. Jazakum Allahu khairan.